All right.
Hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Happy New Year.
We're live. How's everyone doing out there?
We are live and it is January 2023.
Yeah,
Another year just rolled right around.
it's been a bit since we've been here. It's been a couple of weeks. I hope everyone had a great holiday break and a happy new year and happy 2023 to everyone out there. My name is John Gardner, and this is my wife and law partner, Radlin Mendoza, and we
Hey,
are the
guys.
law firm Gardner and Mendoza. We're an immigration law firm in Virginia Beach, Virginia, East Coast of the United States. And we come to you every Wednesday, except for the last 2 weeks because of the holidays, to give you immigration updates. And most importantly, we like to answer your questions. You have immigration questions, we know that, and we have answers.
Yeah, so start getting them in the comments. It is first come, first served on the questions.
And the reason I always tell people that we are located on the East Coast of the United States is because we have clients all over the country and all over the world. That's where we are physically located, but our clients are all over the place. So it doesn't matter where you are. We are absolutely able to help you no matter what state you're in or what country you're in. And I also want to say hi to our whole TikTok crew over here. We do a simulcast here. We're on Facebook Live, but we also have people joining us, a lot of people joining us on TikTok. And so you'll see me looking back and forth. I'm not staring off into space. I'm talking to the folks on TikTok, monitoring those questions and trying to bring them in. Those of you on TikTok, if you have the opportunity to switch over to Facebook, that does work a little bit better for us. It's easier to see. And also we can post the question, which allows other people to see it and read it, and it's a little bit easier to follow. So
awesome.
That's my intro spiel.
Well, did we?
I forgot one
important thing. Yes.
Very important reminder that what we do here is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not legal advice.
Okay? Not legal advice. Right.
They're your questions, but to us, they're just hypotheticals. All right.
Fantastic. We already have a question from CJ. Hello, Tricia. Great to see you again. Yeah. We got a bunch of questions on TikTok, so we can get this party started. However, should we do a quick announcement? We'll talk about this a couple of times.
Yeah, we'll kind of pepper this through. I don't know if everybody wants to get bogged down and bored with this the entire night.
Not bogged down and bored, just great information, and it will help you.
It's very important information.
Make some decisions on what you want to do in your life.
Yeah, we'll start out. We'll come back to this in there, but the main thing that we want to let you know in terms of immigration news is that yesterday the Biden administration announced some pretty major changes that will be going into effect to some extent, where there'll be a 60-day comment period. So they're not happening tomorrow, but they are coming in the next few months. And they are pretty massive fee increases.
Yep.
All across the board. Not every single thing is affected, but almost everything, and something more than others. And some of the fees are going up a little bit. Some of them are going up a lot. So if you are on the fence about filing something, if you've been thinking about it, maybe it was your New Year's resolution to get it done, we would recommend that you move quickly, because the longer you wait, and if those fees do go up, then you're going to be paying more than you already will be paying.
Yep, absolutely. Right. And naturalization is not going up that much. I think it's only going up to from $725 to $760. But something that, it does open the door for other petitions that you can file for your family members. So even though it's not going up that much, we still highly recommend that you try to apply for citizenship as soon as possible, so you can apply for your other family members. And if you have pending petitions for, say, your spouse and your unmarried children under the age of 21 as a lawful permanent resident, that is there is a potential for retrogression in that category as well. So go ahead and apply for citizenship and just wait, and things will get a little bit faster for the other cases.
Yeah, just to throw out a couple numbers real fast, like Radlin said, the N400 is going from 640 to 760, which is only a 19% increase, but it's still an increase. But the I-129F fiance petition going from 535 to 720. That's a 35% increase. The I-130 online going from 535 to 710. The I-130 paper going from 535 to 820.
Oh, you see what they're doing there.
The the I-751 remove conditions going from 680 to 1,195. That's a 76% increase.
Yeah, that's
the I-485 with the I-765 and I-131 adjustment plus employment going from 1,225 to 2,820. That's a 130% increase. Yeah, an I-601A waiver going from 715 to 1,105, and I-485 for child under 14 adjustment of status going from 750 to 1,540, 105% increase. So,
yeah, we're going to talk more about this in the next couple of weeks in our next live. But John and I just wanted to mention that to you. Now is the time.
Yeah, now is the time.
It's a great time to, make doing something with your immigration case or with a family member's immigration case a priority, and perfect for those New Year's resolutions. Maybe you didn't have resolutions this year. It's okay. Now you have one.
Right. It was already a priority for you. You already said this is the year that we're going to make this happen. Now you have even more incentive, and that is that it's out there. Again, it's not happening tomorrow, but it's definitely coming. So
yes, absolutely.
Get moving.
Can you unplug that gray?
Yeah.
That gray. Yeah. So for some reason we a sketchy connection here, guys. I'm not sure why, but hopefully you can hear us. All right. So let's get to questions.
Yeah. And by the way, those were for the family-based, and then sometime after we answer some questions, we'll talk a little bit about employer-based immigration fees are also going up. Some of them even more.
All right. I'm gonna queue up CJ or Jay's question, and you can kind of take a look over there for our next one. But CJ says, I just want to ask. Our attorney filed my mom's I-140 and I-45 concurrently on May 2022, and the final action date that time was current. And now the visa bulletin EB3 other worker retrogress for Philippines, and my mom's I-140 is still pending. And I'm turning 21 in April. Will I age out? So possibly, Jay, but you could also possibly be saved by the Child Status Protection Act. So I would go back to your attorney and say, hey, ask the same question, right? Am I going to age out here? And is the Child Status Protection Act going to prevent me from aging out, and have your attorney do that analysis with the filing times and the filing date? So it is not yet a lost cause for you. Definitely go check with your attorney who has, all of the filing dates, and he or she will be able to make that calculation for you. But good luck. It's a really good question, and we certainly understand your concern about aging out. All right.
Okay, and the first question that came up here is, can we ask questions here on TikTok? Yes, if you're on TikTok and you have a question, you can put it in there, and we will try to get to it. So the first one here, these aren't really clear questions, but just maybe you can read between the lines here. I went an interview on a marriage-based green card a year ago, and we have not heard anything back since.
365 days ago. That's a long time. That happens sometimes, unfortunately. So a couple of things that you can do there if you have not done that. And the scenario is a marriage-based interview. They went to a marriage-based interview 1 year ago, and there is still no response about whether the green card is approved or not. So that's a long time to get a response from USCIS. So a couple of things that you can do is, number one, reach out to your congressional and see if they can help and find out what the holdup is. I mean, certainly if you have an attorney, your attorney can also follow up. The one thing about, processing times now is that, if your case has not fallen outside of processing times, even waiting the 1 year, they're not going to take a lot of action on that. They're not going to take any action. They're saying, well, your case is still within our processing times, but you still should reach out to congressional. If you have not joined our Live Love Immigration group on Facebook, pinned at the top of that is how you can reach out to your congressperson and make a congressional inquiry about your immigration case. So come on to Facebook. It's called Live Love Immigration. It's probably under our Gardner and Mendoza law firm Facebook page, which is at Gardner Mendoza Law. And then you can try to figure out how to do that with that particular pinned up post that we have on our Facebook group. And then the other thing is you can also consider filing a lawsuit to force USCIS to make a decision on your case. So those are a couple of things that you can do. If you'd like to file a lawsuit, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to do it on your behalf. And I know that sounds a little scary to people, like, oh gosh, filing a lawsuit, I don't know. Does that mean they're not going to like us if we file a lawsuit? Is our case going to get denied because we took this extreme measure of filing a lawsuit? It really is just, sometimes cases get stuck and there's really no rhyme or reason why they got stuck and they're just stuck. They're just perpetually stuck. Like, you make congressional inquiries, your attorney reaches out, your attorney does a service request, or you do a service request, and it's just stuck. It's stuck. It's stuck. It's stuck. And sometimes to get it unstuck, we have to file a lawsuit.
Yep.
And I'm all about it. We're all about it. Let's file the lawsuit and force the hand. I mean, I don't mean to be, that's not acceptable for your case to be pending for a whole year.
And just to be clear, Radlin is talking about the, people being nervous, and we completely understand. I think when we say that, there's a tendency out there for people to think, oh gosh, I don't want to do that. If I sue the government on my case, then they're definitely going to deny it. And then not only that, I'm going to be on the list and the radar, and then the government's going to be poking into everything I do. It's nothing like that. Okay. That's not the situation. It's really more to force the case to get in front of the eyes of somebody who's like, oh wow, what happened here? Why? Why did nobody do anything with this? We need to move this along. It just fell through the cracks somewhere. All right.
Yeah.
It gets back up on the radar, actually, is what we're trying to do.
We filed a lawsuit for a case that really had been stuck for 2 years. And when it was stuck for 1 year, we tried to encourage our clients to file the lawsuit, but they had the same issues that we were just talking about, because it's not a comfortable thing to sue the Department of Homeland Security, USCIS,
exactly.
The director of wherever your case is. Our clients they don't love the way that looks or feels. Anyway, we finally said, look, we're going to just completely just be doing status inquiry letters every 30 days. And they finally said, yeah, let's file the lawsuit. So when we filed it and we served, their case got approved. As my kids like to say, and everyone literally the next day. Literally the next day. Right. In the inbox was the I-130 petition approval. And, it was just such a huge relief. I don't know if our client is here yet in the United States, but he's a minor, and when he gets here, we will definitely be celebrating. I think he may be here, but I'll have to check. I'll have to double check. I think maybe he was finishing up school. So that was a really happy day for our clients and for our law firm, because we made a big impact by doing that. And this family was just completely torn apart. They were spending tons of money on traveling back and forth to the Philippines, the United States, and yeah, it was a great outcome. And it was a refile from another immigration attorney who, didn't actually do the case properly. They didn't. Anyway.
Yeah, to loop it back together.
Loop it back together.
Loop it back together. If you have a case that that is getting stale and old, far beyond, I mean, there's always delays in these cases, but beyond what is expected and what becomes like really an abnormal amount of time, then it's time to talk to us about potentially filing a lawsuit just to prod it along. All right.
Yep. Yeah. Going back to the case that we were just mentioning, the fact that another attorney had and we had to refile, that had nothing to do with the delays that we were experiencing. It all had to do with, USCIS just not acting on the case. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Right. And I see my cousin Jimmy's joining us.
And your mom.
Good to see. Oh, and my mom is here too. Hi, Mama.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Gardner fam. Well,
Yes.
Jimmy, not Gardner.
No, he's a brokerage.
We'll forgive you.
That's right.
Hi, Jasmine.
And Jasmine is joining us. Yep.
Quing Ping. Hello. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Actually, that's a Q.
And I think if you scroll up a little bit more, we had there from Rosalie. Hi, she says, hi, I love this. Hi from the Bay Area. Happy New Year to you both.
I'll post it.
And thank you always for answering my immigration questions, for all the updates. God bless you both. Thanks, Rosalie. God
Thank
bless you.
you.
As
What a
well.
great message.
And thanks for saying hi from the Bay Area. We were there last summer. Had a great time.
Yeah, it was awesome. We
We
had
had
such
really,
a great time.
really nice trip.
So really, the next time we're there, we will we'll look you up and we can go have lunch.
That was our big family trip last summer. We flew out, hung out in San Francisco for like 5 days, I think, and then drove to Yosemite and hung out there for 5 days.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. All of it was awesome. Okay.
All right. What do we have? Let's see here. Let's see. Let me grab this one while you're looking at that.
Yeah.
Jay says, I'm on my status in the States before. Okay, in status in the States before, but when COVID hit, I keep on deferring my start date for school under F1 and then work instead, and then left the States while my F1 visa was valid. Can I still apply for a tourist visa? Jay, you can still apply for a tourist visa. You have to answer the questions truthfully, though, whatever they ask you there. And COVID was a tough time for everybody. And while there, was forgiveness for certain things like overstaying, if you went back and you talked to USCIS and said, hey, look, I couldn't file my application to extend my status because of XYZ reason. And there was some forgiveness for that. Working without authorization was not something that they were forgiving. So, it depends on how long you were working and, as far as answering those questions truthfully on the application, and one of the questions is, have you ever violated your status here in the United States? So the answer would be yes to that. If you answer truthfully on that application, and whether you get a tourist visa, it's up to the consular officer, but most likely you would not if you answered yes. But if you explained, maybe you just worked for like a few days or a couple of weeks, maybe so, I mean, it all depends on the circumstances, but you don't know if you don't try. So good luck with that, Jay.
Good luck, Jay. Okay, we have a question over here on TikTok. CX wants to know, hello, Poe attorney. I know someone who is under F2A visa. Now she is married. Can she still be a citizen? Does that make sense?
F2A visa. So I'm a little confused about the question. So what F2A? F2A is going to be the spouse and the unmarried child of a lawful permanent resident. So if the person who is an applicant is an unmarried child of a lawful permanent resident, and that person gets married, let's say they're in the Philippines and they get married, then no, you're not going to be able to come to the United States on that F2A immigrant visa. I think that's what the question was. Sometimes people use lawful permanent resident and U.S. citizen interchangeably or citizen interchangeably, but they're different.
Yeah.
So if
all the time.
yeah, all the time.
I
even judges
I
and
used to even have judges say that to me.
which is fine. They're not immigration professionals. So why should a judge know what the difference is between a lawful permanent resident, a tourist, a person on an H-1B visa, a person on an F-1 visa, and a U.S. citizen? Like, why not? Why should they know? They're not immigration professionals.
They went to law school.
Maybe they didn't take immigration law.
Okay. Right.
Anyway,
I'll give them a pass.
Give them a pass. Yeah. Maybe they don't have any family members in there that go through all these things, or friends.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Everyone's a citizen.
No, that's what they are.
That's dangerous, guys. Don't ever think that everyone is a citizen, and don't ever say you're a U.S. citizen or write anywhere that you're a citizen anywhere if you're not if you're not a U.S. citizen.
That's what they used to say. Well, Mr. Gardner, you're either a citizen or you're not, one or the other. And I say, well, no, that's not true.
Here are 72 visa categories, and of course, the lawful permanent resident of the United States.
Yeah.
So,
but you're right. Fair enough. These were state court judges, and why would they? Maybe they never brushed up with immigration. Okay.
They should know that you're either a U.S. citizen or not a U.S. citizen. They should know that.
And they didn't mean, when they meant not a U.S. citizen, they didn't mean like you're one of those other things.
They meant you're undocumented.
Yeah, they meant either you're a citizen or you're here illegally, one or the other, which anyway.
Yeah. Fun memory.
Yes.
Let's grab a question.
Okay. Here.
From the TikTok.
Okay. Here's a good one. You're going to be concerned about this. This is a great question. Hello, attorney. I'm a nurse on a tourist visa. I got hired in the U.S. Can I change my status without going home?
So possibly. It also depends on who hired you,
right? And
do they have a prevailing wage? Are you going to be a nurse? Nurses don't have to file a labor certification, and so theoretically you can do a one-step filing, but the prevailing wage determination is taking a really, really long time, and that's something that you have to get first. So I would call us.
Yeah.
Or have your employer call us. We do nurse cases if it is in fact a nurse case.
And what do you think about being hired versus actually working? Any thoughts?
So
on that?
Does it say working? Sorry.
No, it just says hired.
Hired. Well, I'm going to just, maybe a job offer was made, right? A job offer. And then, okay, let's take a look. Let's see. There's a lot to unpack there in a one sentence, right? Like there's so many different factors, and I think it depends on if it's, let's just assume it's a hospital, and for the nurse, and you have meet all the requirements to work as a nurse in the United States, and maybe the hospital has already filed the prevailing wage determination. Who knows? So it's an exciting opportunity for us to figure out.
Yeah, you should absolutely contact us.
How do people contact us?
Every single person on Facebook right now and on TikTok should contact us for their case. This one especially, it deals with a lot of things that we have a lot of specialization in, that you'll have a hard time finding other even immigration lawyers that will be well suited to handle that case. You can contact us by calling us. Our phone number is 757.
I'll put it on the banner. Look how
4649224. Email is info@gmlaw.net, or send us a message on Messenger. And yeah, it's scrolling there on the Facebook. For those of you on TikTok, again, that was 757-464-9224, or emails info@gmlaw.net. All right. The consultation fee is $275.
We raised that in 2023.
Not yet.
We should be like USCIS and have public comments like, hey, in the next 60 days, you guys can comment on whether we should raise our consultation fee from $275 to
that's right. I mean, these
$295.
These are range between 19% and 130. We should maybe pick somewhere in the middle.
Okay, we're not going to raise our consultation fee because y'all are going to be paying a lot of fees, a lot of filing fees if you don't file as soon as possible.
Look, cases are seriously, these cases are complicated, and oftentimes the very first step is a very critical step. And if the first step is a mistake, then you have a major problem on your hands. So I can't think of a better investment than $275 to make sure that you're getting your entire immigration future off right foot. All right. You
That's true.
In 2023,
I think you should raise it now. If you put it that way.
2023, you owe it to yourselves. You should have enough respect for yourself to invest that much money in your future.
That little money.
Yeah, that right. All right.
2750, 2,750. That's our new consultation. We just added a zero.
That's right.
Just kidding, guys. It's not. It's 275. All right. Some people are just really, joining like, wow, okay.
It's a small amount to make sure that you're doing the right thing. And we just know that once you talk to us and you do see what's involved, you're also going to want us to just do it for you, which is awesome. All right.
Okay. So let me grab this question here. Anjo says, hello, any thoughts on the 4 years and a day rule? Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on the 4 years and a day rule. This kind of sounds like a cake, right? The 4-year cake.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. The 4 years and a day rule, basically, if you have been outside of the United States for more than a year as a lawful permanent resident, you have to wait to file for a U.S. citizenship. You have to wait 4 years and a day. So, I don't know if you want to know more about that. I will say that a long time ago when I was a baby immigration lawyer, I guess I'm a seasoned now. No, baby would be like, okay, baby, older immigration.
Right. Not yet vintage.
Not yet, but now I'm vintage, right?
Not
vintage.
Yet. No.
Almost vintage. So it's been...
We're AV,
1998 to 2023.
Right. So we've been at this for 24 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make
John doesn't matter. 25 years.
Yeah.
Is it 24?
We're in our 20,
whatever the year is.
We're in our 25th year.
That's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. It's also our 25th wedding anniversary in October. Yeah. Yes. That's going to be awesome. Oh yeah. John and I are married, for those of you just joining. And we started a law firm in 2000 anyway.
That's right.
Minor thing. All right. So when I was a younger new immigration attorney, Anja, guess what I did? I filed my client's case before the 4 years and 1 day. And back then, naturalization cases were like 3-4 months. So go to the interview in 3 or 4 months after filing my client's naturalization case N-400. This is a mistake that I made. And, the client had been out for a year. And so got the decision back. It was a denial, and it cited the 4 years and 1 day rule. And there was no harm, no foul, just because, they still weren't eligible to apply. But, of course, I refiled for them when the time came, and obviously didn't charge them for it. I paid for the filing fee because I made the mistake of filing too soon. In the end, it was all fine, but yeah, I felt stupid in missing that. I never miss anything now, so don't worry.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
We made all the mistakes in the first 5 years, so we're good now.
Yeah, we still got so many green cards for so many people.
Right.
And citizenship. All right.
Okay.
Hopefully that answers your question, Anja. A little anecdotal story there.
Okay, we have a question over here on TikTok. Hi, Ms. Radlin. Is it still necessary to apply for an employment authorization document when we already applied for adjustment of status last September?
Is it still necessary? I mean, if you don't want a work permit, you don't have to apply for the work permit. However, why not apply for the work permit? Because it comes with your adjustment of status with the I-45. Like there's no additional fee to pay for the EAD. So, and sometimes people, say someone is on H-1B and they apply for, they're eligible through labor certification filed, and they're eligible to apply for adjustment of status based on a labor cert, approved I-140. And then they just like, well, I have my H-1B. I'm not going to apply for the EAD. Well, I say still apply for it, and you don't have to use it, but just still apply for it because it comes with the application, and you just never know. So hopefully that answers your question. If not, let us know.
All right, I'm gonna grab one over there. You want to take another here real fast?
I will take. I'll take Rosie's question.
All right.
My husband got his green card. Where are we here?
Yeah.
What's the background, Rosie?
Yeah.
You have to answer what the background is. We won't answer your question.
All right. My husband got his green card last February 2021. We went back to the Philippines in November 2021 and stayed for a month. Then we went back again last August 2022 and stayed for 3 weeks. Will it affect his application in filing his naturalization?
So if those are the only 2 trips, most likely not. So what we do is we look at all of the travel history and we add up all of the travel history. And generally speaking, and this is generally, we actually add up the days in and the days out. So generally speaking, if you're in the United States more in than out, you're basically good to go. So this little travel that your husband did, the 30 days and then the 3 weeks, that's not going to impact his naturalization if that is the only travel that he has had in the past 4 years. I'm sorry, wait, 2021, not 4 years. Sorry, year. So he's not eligible. Okay, let's back up a little bit. 2021. If husband got green card based on marriage to U.S. citizen, you can file years from getting the green card. So February of 2024. So you will look back from the time of filing 3 years. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. Answer is no, shouldn't. But if he goes out of the United States, next year and he stays out, possibly. But these little travels, if that's all you guys are doing, it's not going to. But caveat, count the days that you're out. Hopefully that answers your question, Rosalie.
Right. You can, instead of going all the way back to the Philippines, maybe meet them halfway, get them the family to come to Hawaii. You guys can meet up there.
But it's fine.
It's a similar trip, but not leaving the country.
If this is all you have, then you're good to go.
Okay, Miguel here.
And you have to take us to Hawaii too if you go.
Yeah, of course. Miguel wants to know, I'm a permanent resident and I'm applying for citizenship this year. That's
Congratulations.
Awesome. Yeah. Question, do I need to renew my passport?
No. You do not need to renew a passport, a Philippine passport, a foreign passport, your passport, in order to apply for U.S. citizenship.
All right.
Hey, the last time we were here, which kind of reminds me, the last time we were here, we talked about if you have an expiring green card or an expired green card and you are applying for U.S. citizenship, you do not have to renew the green card. That was the last big thing that we talked about around Christmas time. That happened right before Christmas. So
it's good memory that you remembered that.
It's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't have any other questions here.
Okay. Jimmy wants to know, can you give us, excuse me, I got the wrong one here. I skipped ahead for a second. The question here is, can you tell me how long it takes for a permanent resident to file for an unmarried child over 21?
A long time. A very long time. I printed out the visa bulletin.
Yeah,
you see the visa bulletin?
It's usually around here. I don't know where.
No, but I printed it. Okay, we have the Federal Register regarding these
It was
increase
right here,
in the increase in fees. It's 310 pages. I didn't print all 310, but I did print a lot of it. All right, let me take a look at the visa bulletin. Actually, it's right here. So, all right, can you read that question again?
Yeah, can you tell me how long will it take for a permanent resident to file for an unmarried child over 21?
What country?
Doesn't say.
Okay.
So I don't know.
So the visa bulletin January of 2023 shows that they're processing cases that were filed. You have an I-130 petition filed on or before September 22nd, 2015. So those are all countries except China, India, Mexico, and the Philippines. And that is for the child over the age of 21 of a lawful permanent resident. Actually, that's the processing. That's how long it's going to take for all countries, including China and India. If you're from Mexico, then they're processing cases that were filed on June 1st of 2001. So if you haven't filed yet, that's a pretty long time, right? That's 21 years. Is that right? Yeah. Whoa, that's massive retrogression for Mexico. Okay, let me just increase that. And then if you're from the Philippines, if your child is born in the Philippines, then it's about 11 years. So the moral of the story is you need to file the I-130 petition ASAP. And with these long, wait times for your case to become current, it doesn't really matter how long the I-130 petition is going to take, right? That's a separate thing. It doesn't matter. Just file the I-130 petition. I haven't looked at the 130 petition processing times recently for F2B category because it doesn't matter, because your case is already 7 years, 20 years, 11 years. But just file the case, and you just got to wait, unfortunately.
Yeah, one of the things that the drums were always beating here is to get it filed, because the time is going to be passing either way. So
Yeah.
you may as well have it accruing to your benefit or your relative's benefit. Rather, I mean, it's why not?
It's going to be passing.
So I mean, that date is going to come up. It will arrive.
Yeah.
And so.
I mean, John and I are 25 years older now.
That's right.
When we met. I don't know how that happened, but it's weird.
Yes, it is indeed.
It just kept going the time. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank goodness it kept going for us. But go ahead and just file the I-130 petition. Yep. I know that doesn't. Sometimes people are just like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I'm talking about just filing the I-130 petition because things going to happen. Time's going to go. You cannot stop time. It's just going to keep going.
Yeah, the mindset. It's a natural reaction. Anything that's a long way off, you think, oh, well, I don't have to. Okay, I'm not going to do that. It's going to take 20 years. It's going to take 15 years. 15 years is going to show up. There will be something happening 15 years from now.
Yeah.
So you may as well do it. All right.
Hopefully, it's your F2B kid getting a immigrant visa.
Right.
Now, this is tough, right? Because the issue is, well, I mean, your kid probably going to want to get married at some point in time. And if you remain a lawful permanent resident of the United States, then, if the kid gets married, that petition is gone. It's dead. So,
yeah, that's a,
there's a lot there. There's a lot. Just so the key is you become a lawful permanent resident. You have a child over the age of 21 and is not married. Let's just say they're 21 and up. 21. You file the I-130 petition for your 21-year-old child. and then 5 years later, you become a U.S. citizen. That petition priority date is still from 5 years ago. And now your 26-year-old, if they want to get married, then the petition is still saved. Now you're going to then put them in a longer category. I mean, they'll be in a longer waiting category. So, yeah, there's a lot going on there. I mean, we could talk about this for a whole webinar.
Yes.
About.
I know the time passes because there are relatives of Radlin's that I met when we were very first married. I met them in the Philippines. They now live here, but they arrived, some of them, many, many years after I first met them.
Yeah.
Because the
just
clock
keeps
was ticking.
Keeps going.
I mean, the date came up. It arrived. So
I won't tell the story about the aunt left in the Philippines this time.
Okay.
No, I always say, I'm not going to tell the story time, and then I start telling the story. But no, let's get another question.
Okay. Here's a question here. Will there be any legal consequences if I stay after getting married, but my J-1 visa will soon expire? So I'm guessing somebody was on a J-1 visa, got married while they were here. The J-1 is about to expire.
Mm-hmm.
And they're wondering what's going to happen if they
Who did we marry?
Stay. Yeah.
Who did we marry?
Did we marry?
Did we marry a permanent resident, or did we marry a U.S. citizen?
Yeah. Did we marry a U.S.
Or did we marry another J-1 passport holder? I mean, who did we marry? Because if you married a permanent resident or a U.S. citizen, you can file for adjustment of status possibly.
That's right.
So,
well, I was thinking of those two. It's interesting. It didn't cross my mind. I should have thought that one possibility is another J-1. I was thinking it was either
or just a
permanent resident.
Right. Someone who's not a lawful permanent resident or a U.S. citizen. But right now, the visa bulletin for January 2023 is showing current for the spouses and unmarried children under the age of 21 of lawful permanent residents. And of course, visas are always available to the spouses of U.S. citizens, to parents of U.S. citizens, and to unmarried children under the age of 21 of U.S. citizens. Visas are always available. So if you happen to be in the United States and say this, in this particular situation, J-1, you get married to a U.S. citizen, then you could potentially file the I-130 petition and the green card application and do adjustment of status without having to leave, without getting into legal trouble. Not only will you get into legal trouble, but you will receive your lawful permanent resident card. Before that, you will receive permission to work in the United States and just go on your process.
That's right.
So great question.
Yeah, if you're in the U.S. and you're on a visa like a J-1 and you meet somebody, you fall in love and you get married, that person's a U.S. citizen, like Radlin said, you're set. All you got to do is just contact us and then we will take it from there.
Yep. 757-464-9224. You guys can call or text. We have a great team to help you out when you call. Does this bother you that I have 10 tabs open?
No, it's all right.
I was looking at this like, well, I bet this is bothering John. That I have 10 tabs open. Don't mind me, guys. You asked the questions. I'm closing the tabs for my husband.
She knows that I don't love clutter and chaos.
And this man married me. You didn't know.
It was worth it. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Grab one there. We got more coming through here. We got a lot of them.
Okay. Rosalie says, thank you for your answer. You're so welcome. Last question would be, if we do these little travels to the Philippines every 4 to 6 months, are we subject to be questioned by the immigration officer at the airport on why we were traveling all the time? Thank you so much. Yeah, you're always, every time you come into the United States, if you are a permanent resident, they can question you about whether, what is your business in the Philippines? What are you doing in the Philippines? Let's say, Rosalie, your husband's like, well, I'm working in the Philippines. What else? I'm taking care of my property in the Philippines. I'm just coming to the United States just to, one day become a citizen and then move back to the Philippines. I mean, if you say that, obviously you're not going to say that because this is what happening. That's just a hypothetical. Then the CBP officer, Customs and Border Protection officer, just say, hey, maybe this person has abandoned their lawful permanent residence status. With the travels that you have, no. But that's not to say that they won't ask you any questions if you travel every 6 months to go to the Philippines for 3 weeks. Yes, you can be questioned about that and what your ties to the United States are to just make sure you're not abandoning. But even if you go every 6 months and then you go for a month and then you come back, that's, you're still within plenty of time in the United States. Rosalie, hopefully that answers your question. Consult with an immigration attorney like
That's
us
right.
if you have concerns. Now, one thing you may want to consider is, getting a reentry permit if you're concerned about it. And we can help with that too. All right.
Right. That was the next question on TikTok.
Jem?
But Marianne has popped over to Facebook.
Marianne?
Yeah, this one
Okay.
here.
Mary Ann. You want that? Oh, look at the sunflowers. That's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
that is pretty.
And the mountains in the background.
Mm-hmm. That's
Nice.
awesome. So Marianne wants to, my friend had an upcoming oath-taking ceremony, but neighbor report them to CPS for child neglect allegation, but no decision made yet, and CPS will start investigation this Friday. Is this going to affect the ceremony?
Yeah, it can. It really depends on the nature of the allegation. I mean, is this a CPS? Is that criminal? I think that's a civil, isn't it? Like, what is it?
Yeah, I mean, it is civil.
It depends on where you are too. I mean, you have child protected services. So the question is, we have an oath swearing coming up. In between the test and the oath swearing, CPS has been called for child neglect. So it's has your friend been charged? Have they been charged with the crime?
Yeah, that's the other question that I would have. I mean, CPS is involved a lot of times attached to a criminal case of some sort. There might be some more information.
Yeah, and your friend is going to be completing a little form. And, those are the questions. Have you ever been arrested, cited, charged, indicted, fined, or, imprisoned? And it really depends on the nature of the investigation. So sorry about that.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
It's a bummer. But it doesn't mean that it's done and over with.
Right. I mean, it's you said there's an investigation. I don't know, maybe there's an actual issue going on there. Maybe it's a neighbor who is just trying to get them in trouble for other reasons.
Yeah.
We see that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
There's always some neighbor or family member or friend who's gonna call immigration.
The issue is basically, is this investigation going to be done and completely over and disposed of before this oath taking? And that's the question. And what is the nature of it? All right.
Okay. Michael wants to know, can I still get citizenship if I'm charged fraud less than $10,000?
Depends on when it occurred. It also depends on whether you have other things. Like, do you have a lot of those things? Do you have a lot of little things? Do you have we had a client, we appealed it because it was wrong. We appealed it, won on appeal, but our client just had a ton of traffic tickets. He had traffic tickets, he had arrests, but no charges. I mean, sorry, like all the arrests went away in the sense that he just had some arrests, he had some traffic tickets, he just had like a page of stuff that in the end It was all outside of the good moral character period. And they were minor things, and they were arrests, but not convictions. So they were all these little things. And our local office denied the case. We appealed it and won on appeal because it was outside of good moral character period. So it depends on, this was,
Yeah.
and what are the things do you have? I mean, the officer can go outside of that period, but, it's.
Yeah. And Michael, I would add some other extras that, you say you're charged with fraud. Does that mean the case is ongoing? If it's an active case, then your citizenship would be on hold anyway. You're not going to be able to get citizenship until it's resolved, like Rad was talking about with the good moral character period. So we need some more information there as well.
Yep.
I mean, we've had clients who have suspended jail time on, reckless driving charge. And if it's suspended on, like, say, 2 years of behavior, then during those 2 years of good behavior, their naturalization case is just pinned. It's on hold until they get beyond that.
Right.
All right.
And it's not even, I mean, they have the discretion to keep it on hold, but they can just deny it too.
That's true.
And then you have to refile. So, okay, Jim, let's see here. Did I answer this already? No. Jim says, I need help with my situation. I am on my CR1 visa and I'm married. I want to get divorced. What should I do? We got married in the Philippines. Will I get sent home? So, Jim, it's okay. You seem very frantic, and it's extremely understandable, but you're going to be okay. Just because you get divorced and you have your conditional green card does not mean automatically that you're going to get sent home. I mean, it's a very long process to get to that point of, getting sent home is essentially getting deported, right? Like, this is not a deportable thing that you and your spouse are getting divorced. So the main thing that you have to do is to collect documentation to show that you and your spouse were in a bona fide or are in a bona fide marriage and a relationship, and make sure you document everything. Document if you have a joint bank account together, document if you had leases, get that stuff, get photos of you together, your travel together, all of the bona fide marriage documentation that you can get your hands on. You should absolutely do that, so you can show that even though I'm divorced, there is a waiver to get the 10-year card. And you're saying, even though I'm divorced, it was a real marriage. And here's 500 pages to show that it was a real marriage. Maybe you don't have 500 pages, but put together as much as you can. So try not to worry too much. Just be methodical in getting your case done and getting the documents that you need in order to show that you and your spouse had a real marriage. I mean, 50, I don't know. I think that I may be working with a old statistic, but what is it? Is it 50% of people in the United States get divorced?
That was the number for, I'm assuming it still is.
It may be 52%. Let's just say, I always say, well, okay, 50% of people get divorced, but 50% of people stay married too. So no one ever talks about that part. But so USCIS is certainly not shocked when they see that a couple has gotten divorced. It happens all the time. And we represent clients all the time, file their I-751s. And that's the petition to remove the conditions on your lawful permanent residency to get your green card, who are now divorced. So don't worry, happens all the time. And we can help.
Absolutely.
All right. What do we have here?
Okay, so we have a question here on TikTok. Interesting. Wife is a U.S. citizen, husband is not.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess the wife is petitioning. But the question is, can the husband apply for a work and travel permit while outside of the U.S., or do they have to be here? So you've got a case that's, petition going.
Yeah.
Does the person have to be present, or can they be somewhere else?
So if you're outside of the United States, then you're going through a process called consular processing. and you can't, well, you're going through a process called consular processing. If you're in the United States, you're going through a process called adjustment of status. And when you file that green card application for adjustment of status, you also file the work permit as well as advanced parole in order to travel. So if you start the process and you're not in the United States and you're doing consular processing, that's the process that you're on, you come to the United States, say on a tourist visa to visit your mother-in-law and your, wife's family, and circumstances change and you say, wait a minute, I because of these circumstances, I think I would like to now pursue adjustment of status, then that could be a possibility for you. And at that point, you would be able to file for, file the adjustment of status application along with the work permit and the travel permit. So hopefully that answers your question. I feel like I hopefully I got that.
Yeah, I hope that helps. It's either Mr. Snesquick asking the question or Mrs. Nesquick.
What?
Well, it's spelled, the first three letters are MRS. I'm just playing with the letters a little bit there.
Come on, it's 1 minute until 9. I'm so confused. I was just like zoning out.
I decided with a minute left to just, start playing with the letters and that. Okay. We have time for a nuts and bolts question. This could be better for Dom or Sarah.
No, we don't. Just kidding.
I'm on an H-1B in California, but my wife, who's the U.S. citizen, lives in Maine. What address should I use on the 485?
Your address. Your address. It is your application. It is your I-485.
Use the Cali address.
Yep.
All right.
And I will say that if you have a lease, with your wife in Maine, and maybe you guys, go back and forth or whatever, and you have a lease in Maine, you may want to put an asterisk, and there's no asterisk, and you may want to put an asterisk for just explaining that you also live in Maine and that you have a lease in Maine, just so it's not confusing. I had the same exact case recently. Similar situation, and that was a tough interview, but it got approved. It was a tough interview.
All right, gang. I see our
timekeeper is here.
Our timekeeper is approaching.
Halt, Ray.
I see.
Halt.
I see her approaching.
We're good. Okay, come on. You want to say hi? Ray, our timekeeper. Ray is our 11-year-old, and
we have 3 daughters. Our youngest daughter comes and basically tells us the time is up.
Hey, but one thing good is that we had dinner before.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm stuffed.
Oh, she's moving away.
Okay.
All right.
Well, your grandmother's going to be sad that she didn't see you on Facebook Live. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. We will be back
to help you out and answer your questions. We'll talk more about the fees going up.
Next week.
We'll talk more about the employment-based fees.
They're really going up.
Yeah, those next week, and bring your questions. We'll be here next Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
All right.
See, thumbs up.
Thumbs up, guys. Take care. And again, for those on TikTok, if you need to reach out to us, 757-464-9224. Join our Live Live Immigration Facebook group. Thanks for love, guys. And we'll see you next time. Take care.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.